In April 1993, three engineers sat down in a back booth at a Denny's restaurant in East San Jose. They had no funding and no customers. They didn't even have a name for the company they wanted to start. What they had was a sketch of a graphics chip on the back of a napkin and a 30-year-old former Denny's busboy named Jensen Huang, who they elected as CEO that afternoon. 33 years later, that company is worth $5.4 trillion. It is by a wide margin the most valuable thing on earth. And earlier this year, that same Jensen Huang told the world he has no plan for what happens when he eventually walks out of that chair. For a lot of companies, this is the moment the wheels come off. General Electric lost over $500 billion in value the year after Jack Welch retired. Disney stock dropped a third in the 2 years after Bob Iger handed it off, and Iger had to come back out of retirement to save the company. So if you're worried Nvidia could be next, hang on, because the most likely succession plan might already be hiding in plain sight. Stay with me here. This one is interesting. Jensen Huang did not get this handed to him. There was no family chip company waiting for him to take over, and no $1 million loan from his dad to get started. He built every piece of this from nothing, and his story begins as far from Silicon Valley as you can possibly get. He was born in Taipei, Taiwan in 1963. When he was 9, his parents put him and his older brother on a plane to live with an uncle in Tacoma, Washington, while they themselves stayed behind in Thailand. The uncle then sent the two boys to a Baptist boarding school in rural Kentucky, the kind of place where Jensen, who barely spoke English, was given a mop and put to work cleaning the bathrooms after class. He eventually moved out to Oregon, finished high school, and worked his way through Oregon State University, partly by waiting tables at Denny's. He liked it there. Endless coffees, and the booths were big enough to spread out engineering schematics on. Which is why, by 1996, 3 years into running the chip company he started at Denny's, things were starting to get tense. Nvidia had bet most of his money on a chip design for a Sega game console. The deal fell through. The company's software didn't work with the new graphics standard Microsoft had just rolled out. Most of the engineers had been laid off, and the company had about 30 days of cash left in the bank. Jensen and his two co-founders pulled the remaining engineers off everything and pulled them on one final chip, a graphics card called Riva 128. They had to ship it or close the company. They shipped it, it worked, and the company lived. For the next 30 years, Jensen never let go of that chair. The bet on CUDA in 2006, which became the foundation of the AI revolution, the pivot to AI training in the mid-2010s, years before anyone saw it coming. Both of those were him. Almost every major strategic decision Nvidia has made since 1993 traces back to one person, in the same chair, building the same company. Today, he's personally worth $180 billion. He's the 7th richest individual on the planet, and 3 months ago, on the most listened to podcast in the world, he told everyone he has no plan for what happens when he eventually walks out of that chair. Other companies have lived through this exact moment, where a founder has to eventually let go of the business they built from nothing. The historical record is actually pretty clear about how this usually goes. Take Apple. When Steve Jobs handed Tim Cook the CEO title in August 2011, Cook had been running the day-to-day operation for years already. He'd been the COO since 2007, and he'd fill in for Jobs during medical leaves 3 separate times. By the time Jobs formally gave him the title, Cook was already running the company. Jobs died 6 weeks later. The handover worked because there really wasn't one. Cook was already the CEO. Apple's market cap on the day Jobs died was around $300 billion. It's now over $3 trillion. Now look at Microsoft. Bill Gates handed his company to Steve Ballmer in 2000. Under Ballmer, Microsoft's revenue grew about 10% a year, but the stock dropped 44% over the 14 years he ran it. Ballmer missed the smartphone. The world moved to mobile. The new CEO didn't see it coming, and shareholders watched their portfolio go sideways for an entire decade, even though the business was still growing. It took a second succession to Satya Nadella in 2014 to actually turn this company around. Two very different transitions, and you can see how either outcome is possible. The handoffs that worked happened in plain sight. The next CEO is publicly named, prepared for years, and known to investors before they take the chair. Nvidia is not doing any of that publicly, but the structure says it might be doing it quietly. Set Jensen's words aside for a second. He says he has no succession plans. He says he doesn't believe in them. He says all 60 of his direct reports could take over the company. That's his public position. Now look at what's actually happening inside Nvidia. His daughter Madison is a senior director running the Omniverse division. That's the company's 3D simulation and digital twin business, one of its biggest growth bets outside of pure AI chips. His son Spencer runs the robotics production line, which is the other huge growth bets. Physical AI, the kind that goes into self-driving cars and humanoid robots. Both of its children are sitting in senior roles inside the two division, widely considered the company's next chapter. Both came to Nvidia after non-traditional careers. Spencer used to run a cocktail bar in Taipei, and Madison was a pastry chef in Paris before getting her MBA. Neither of them climbed up through engineering. They were both brought in. That's one part. Now look at the money. Roughly 90% of Jensen's 180 billion of Nvidia stock isn't actually held in his own name. It sits in long-term trust and partnership structure explicitly designed for family succession and philanthropic continuity. Only about 10% stays with him personally. And then there are the SEC filings. For nearly 2 years now, Jensen has been selling Nvidia stock on a public pre-scheduled basis, over $2.9 billion since mid-2024. He filed a new schedule this March to sell another $865 million by Christmas. He still owns 3.6% of the company, so he isn't actually exiting, but he is diversifying out of it on a remarkably consistent schedule while publicly telling investors he intends to lead Nvidia for another 30 years. So, if there really is no succession plan, what are his children doing in the two divisions that everyone agree are the company's future? Why is most of his equity already inside trust built for family succession? Why is he liquidating nearly $1 billion of his own stock every single year like clockwork? Those are not really the choices of somebody who hasn't thought about what comes after. And then there's the cousin. This is the fun bit, because the only person on earth who's actually ran a chip company at this scale who could plausibly step in and run Nvidia tomorrow happened to be Jensen Huang's first cousin once removed. Her name is Lisa Su. She runs AMD. They were both born in the same town in Taiwan, didn't meet until they were both grown adults, but if you grew up in an Asian household, you know exactly where this story goes. There's always a cousin who's doing a little bit better than you, and your mom always seemed to find out. Now imagine being Jensen Huang at the next family dinner. Your version of that cousin runs AMD, which this year is up 114%, while Nvidia is up about 5%. You can almost hear it. Have you talked to Lisa lately? She's doing so well at her company. In all seriousness though, maybe Jensen has no succession plan. Maybe he genuinely intends to be the CEO of Nvidia at age 90, still walking on stage in his leather jacket, still telling investors he's never leaving. Or maybe the most carefully prepared succession in modern business has been happening in plain sight all along. In the trust structures, the product division, the SEC filings, while the CEO publicly says it isn't happening at all. And look, this probably isn't happening anytime soon. Jensen's only 63, and if I'm being honest, he looks closer to 50. And the structure suggests that when the day finally comes, Nvidia might not turn out to be like Apple. It might end up looking more like Samsung or Hyundai, those big Asian family conglomerates where the company stays inside the family for generations. The next CEO is named Huang, and the one after that probably is too. Drop a comment below, what do you think? Do you think Jensen Huang really has no plan and intends to be in that chair until he dies? Or do you think the real plan has been hiding all along? And the next CEO of Nvidia will share his last name. Before you go, don't forget to download my free AI stock research cheat sheet. It'll be linked down below. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, thanks for watching.